Hello, I'm Alison Clarke, best-selling young adult fantasy author of the Sisterhood series. I'm very excited to talk to you about the world of writing and inspiration. And from time to time, as part of the series on my YouTube channel, I will be talking about things literary, creative, and so on. And so we'll jump right into the journey and answer some questions that people ask me in terms of the world of writing and being an author. One of the questions people ask me, how do I get books published? It's a very hard journey, and there are many different ways. You can indie or self-publish. You can do that. That's a wonderful way to get started. That's what I did. I went through a local printer in town, and I had a whole team of people helping me put together my books. I started out writing children's picture books, the Eli books, The Adventures of Eli the Elephant, and Eli Goes the Moon. The second book, which I wrote and illustrated. And that was quite an interesting journey, and I learned a lot from that experience. It was very magical. There's also getting a publisher, which is another journey. And I've done that as well, and I'm continuing on that journey right now with my new project I'm working on, a poetry collection about Phyllis Wheatley, the first Black American to publish a book of poetry. And she was a slave that will be coming out by the University of Calgary Press. And that is my latest journey. Beforehand, with the Sisterhood trilogy, I was published by a UK publisher. How do I do that? It was through my educational journey, taking courses for a master's degree in English, focusing on children's literature. And that was a gateway to opportunities, including meeting up with my publisher of the Sisterhood series. And so that's two ways, indie or self-publishing, or mainstream publishing with a publisher, and I've done both worlds. People ask me, where do I get my information or ideas for my books? I experience life. I read a lot. I read anything from C.S. Lewis. I read biographies. Last biography or autobiography I read was by former President Barack Obama, Dreams from My Father, which is very inspiring and interesting. And when I have a chance, I'll read his next autobiography, The Audacity of Hope. I love reading poetry. I love reading prose. I read all sorts of things. I'm also into manga. I read a lot of manga too. And so I'm interested in a lot of different things. And I'm also inspired by nature when I go for my walks in the river valley. People ask me when did I write my first book and how old I was at the time. Well, I wrote a novella when I was back in high school, a really short book. And I did that, and I was high school age at the time. People also ask me what I like to do when I'm not writing. I like to read. I like to walk. I love to travel. Last year I did a book tour, UK book tour for the Sisterhood series, and I quite enjoyed that. So that was a fun odyssey I was on. Went to Ireland as well and did different things. So I enjoy traveling, and sometimes that lends itself to inspiration for my work. People ask me, what does my family think about my writing? Well, my mom was very supportive, my dad and my cousins, aunts and so on. And also my family of friends. For I believe that for my family, there are people both of blood and those not of blood. So I find many supporters of my work, including family members, cousins, especially cousins and parents. Very inspiring and instrumental. Now, people always ask me too, what's the surprising thing I learned in the process of writing my books. I think the most surprising thing for me is being able to deal with journey as a human being, as we have to navigate human being things, not just writing things. And all the obstacles I've dealt with, not so much in the creation of my books, but in life things, I do quite well. I am a 2-time cancer survivor, and so I have health issues related to that, but I do pretty well. And I move on at my own pace. I think I do pretty well, plodding along on this journey called life, so I do what I can do. People ask me how many books I've written. Well, I've included the Eli books, plus my trilogy. I've written 5 so far. And when the book of poetry about Phyllis Wheatley comes out, it'll be 6. And I have some ideas for other books, but I'm not saying right now. We'll see what manifests in time. People have wanted to know what suggestions I have for them to become a better writer and so on. All I would know is keep writing. Each book you write, each thing you complete, you become a better writer just by doing that. But not just in terms of writing, in any other journey, in any other area. When you do things more often, the more you do, the better you become at that skill or gift. So do. That's the most